Welcome to the Goddess Connection webinar series. My name is Cherie Hudson, and I am one of the co-founders of Go Goddess. On our website, we do offer this webinar series as well as Goddess Talks and Goddess Podcasts. Our mission is to share information with everyone that is a woman about the things that we face as we transition through our life phases and on our life journey. There is definitely situations, events, and areas that we walk through as a woman, and how do we get to the other side, or how do we prepare ourselves as we walk on this journey of life as a woman. Today I want to talk about societal perceptions. I feel that as a woman, there are many labels that get tossed out about our behaviors, about who we are, that are not true and not valid, or it doesn't support us in our greatness. So let me go ahead, and at this time, I'm going to share with you my PowerPoint slide deck so that we can take a look at societal perceptions and really get into a deep dive on it. So one of the things that I have been faced with is a societal perception of our body transition and age. And I'm going to focus on that today. There are other societal perceptions that we get labeled with, and we'll definitely talk about that at another time. So when we look at our society and us as women, there are body transitions that do happen to us. Now, it's not something that we can help. It's all women go through this, and it is part of living as a woman. For example, when we're born women, by the time that we get to an age of 11, 12, 13, we start to have transitions within our bodies that are major changes. And we go through our menstrual cycles. And then we start to form breasts, and all of these biological situations start to occur. I remember being in the seventh and eighth, I think it was the seventh grade. Like, the big thing was we would talk about who had their menses. And it was almost like, whoa, you have now separated yourself into this group of girls that are now like matured, or something is going on with you. And everybody else was like, when am I going to have that? When am I going to have that? Almost feeling as though there's some level of separation. Bottom line is, we all go through it. We all have our menstrual cycles. And then what happens to us, and as we move through this and chemical changes continue to occur, we get to a particular age and we're ready for childbearing. Not to say that we're not ready earlier, but once we have our menstrual cycles, however, there is something about age that does come along and say, hey, now it's time to have a baby. And so at that time, we're ready to have children. And people have children, women have children at all different ages. And so when we look at that, when a woman around that particular age, and I would say anywhere from about 15 to 30 or 35, when we have a menstrual cycle, there gets to be a negative labeling about our behaviors. And you've heard it. Oh, she must be PMSing. She must be on her rags, you know. And to me, that does not identify us as women. That is just, we might be in a bad mood. People have bad moods. People might be irritable. Now, yes, you may be going through pain, and you may be having cramps, and you might be using Midol. Yet, there's no reason to label ourselves or anyone else that is having a menstrual cycle, because we don't know. In fact, that is the reason why they're totally irritable. Men get irritable. Are they going through their cycle? Does that really help us? It's almost like those labels no longer serve us. And then what happens is we go through an aging process. Well, that's a whole dynamic in and of itself. And so what happens at around anywhere from 45 to around 60, our bodies change again. It transforms. And what happens is we stop having the menstrual cycle. But then now we're cast with hot flashes. I'm not saying they're not real. They're absolutely real. I'm just saying let's not label ourselves a particular name or identifier that really has to do with a natural cause of our existence of being this particular gender of a woman. And then things that happen to the body at this age, some women can go on hormonal therapy and they're able to have love making, which is just amazing for them. And there's women like myself who am not able to use hormonal therapy and have been on a journey of seeking alternatives to help me through this process. My mother never told me that my cervix will start to constrict at a certain age, making lovemaking very painful. Wow. Thanks, Mom. But I'm here to share this. And how do you prepare yourself for situations like that? And not to be embarrassed or not to feel shame or guilt about the situation, but to expose it and to talk with a healthcare professional on what you can do to prepare your body for this situation if hormonal therapy is not available to you. I've actually done what is called laser therapy for the cervix to help release the constriction. I'm not embarrassed about it. This is how my body takes to this situation. How do I move through it? And this is an alternative for me, as well as vitamins and minerals that I work with my healthcare professional on. Now, as we take a look at this, we also have this gnawing feeling about age. Oh my gosh, I am going to be this age. I'm going to be this age. And, you know, and it's funny because every time we either turn 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, it's almost like a death sentence. And I'm going to say, no, it's not. Because here's what's true. There are women. You may call them late bloomers. I don't like identifiers, but yeah, these are women that made it after the age of 50, and it's all possible. I want to start off with a marathon runner. So this is Gladys Burrell, and at the age of 92 years old, she decided to run her first marathon, the Honolulu Marathon, and just did fantastic. Then let's take a look at Grandma Moses, a painter. She actually didn't start painting until the age of 76. Wow, way to go, Grandma. And then we have Louise Hay. You may have heard of her. She's definitely a best-selling author. She has an incredible book titled You Can Heal Your Life. And it is truly amazing. And she's helped so many people. And at the age of 58, she actually created her publicity company, which is Hay House, at the age of 58. She was almost 60. And then we have Julia Child, 53 years old. She's been cooking. However, at this age, she was able to produce her series on PBS and had her first cooking show at the age of 53. So I'll talk a little bit about myself. When I turned 60, I wanted to do a bodybuilding competition. And so I did. I ended up in, I think it was in 2017, with what is called renal infarctions. And that meant that I had a heart attack of the kidney, both kidneys, I should say. And I really felt like my body betrayed me. I eat healthy, I take care of myself, I do all these great things, I eat organic, on and on and on. And yet I was hospitalized for 8 days in a bed, looking up at the ceiling, wondering what the heck just happened. And then when life has a throwdown, while I was lying there for those 8 days, I looked over to my daughter and I said, I want to be in a bodybuilding competition. This is something that I wanted to do in my mid-20s. And I am not going to let this situation hold me back. I had to change my diet. I had to change my water. I had to really take a look at how I did my weight training and my yoga training too as well. And mind you, after I left the hospital, I didn't go out there and perform optimally. No, I took baby steps. An inch is a cinch. And I kept seeing myself on that stage. So I did. At the age of 60, I entered my first bodybuilding competition. Now, mind you, it was a natural bodybuilding competition. And that meant no chemicals, no fat burners, no steroids, no nothing, not even enhancers. As a matter of fact, because I was on particular medication, I had to get an approval in order to participate in the natural bodybuilding competition. What I noticed that I needed a vision. Once I hit 60, there needed to be something bigger than myself. I think that's what Gladys did. Although she might have been a runner, she might have thought, I want to enter a marathon. That's what I did. Although I was lifting weights, how do I create the best version of myself? By going after a star on the horizon. And that was my vision. And then I really took a look at why. Why do I want to do this? And it was true. I wanted to create the best version of me. I wanted to see, feel, and experience myself in optimal health because of what I experienced years earlier. And I knew this journey was going to give me that possibility. So I hired myself a trainer and I changed my water to an alkaline water. Feel incredibly, incredibly healthy. And at one point I thought to myself, do I stay or walk away? This was approximately a week and a half before my show. And I talked to my daughter and I said, I'm going to tap out. And she said this to me, why? You've already paid for your suit. You've already paid for your shoes. You've already paid for the competition. Just walk through it. And so I did. I was really hard on myself. I thought, oh no, I'm not going to make it. It's just going to be disastrous. And I'm so glad I stuck with it. So perseverance is very, very important. I took a look at the journey. And in experience the journey, it wasn't about the destination. What I wanted to do was be on stage in a bodybuilding competition. That's all I said I wanted. And that's what I got, to be on stage. And then what had happened was I actually won both of my categories that I entered. What do they call it? A bikini diva, ultramaster, and a sports fitness model, ultramaster. And I also won an overall. This was absolutely huge for me. This was between men and women at all different ages. And I won the overall most symmetrical award. And that's me at the age of 60 on stage and beyond my wildest dream, taking home 2 medals and an award. Totally phenomenal. So really go beyond. And here's really the point to make about women. Don't let anyone label you. Not about your behaviors, not about you going through menstrual cycles, menopause, hot flashes. Don't identify yourself with any of those labels. You are a woman in this lifetime. Your body's going to go through changes. Love it, accept it, celebrate it, and really create the best version of yourself at any age. 101. There's always something to go after and to make it bigger than where you see yourself. Persevere. I love Vince Lombardi. It's not how many times you get knocked down. What matters most is how many times you get back up. Just like how I got knocked down with renal infarctions, the most important thing is I stood back up and I was able to stand on stage at a bodybuilding competition and really, really, really enjoy the ride. Because the ride of being a woman is absolutely phenomenal. I want to thank you for joining me for the Goddess Connection webinar. I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day.